the training you do, in one level, you need tough opponents. In another level, you need bringing elements to your training which compensate those tough opponents. So you can become very efficient without the presence of great training partners. Up to you, as if you want to get better, reduce your elements and become more efficient in very small details. For example, training only with your legs, training only with one arm. Tell to the guy what's going to happen before it happens, you know, and then the guy will know and will make 100 times harder to. So you start to using elements to make harder for yourself, making 30 seconds for each one, and if they pass 30 seconds, you lose the fight. So the guy has to be alive for 30 seconds. How much pressure the guy has to have to win the fight in 30 seconds for somebody who wants to just... So you have to create speed training. I mean, you can be fast, you can be explosive, you can be sharp, you can be strategic. So you can develop different elements as a fighter, even though you don't have the same tough opponent. So it's up to how you train. I think our lives were forged in service, and that service is founded on efficiency, which we go out and prove. So that's our tradition, is be willing to sacrifice ourselves and put ourselves at test in order to give to our students the knowledge they need to feel the confidence for them to become great doctors, great policemen, great whatever. So in that pattern, I think is amazing how much Jiu-Jitsu can favor people, because different than a forward technique where you either defeat your opponent or you fail, because a lot of techniques, they just forward, like today's MMA is pretty much just press the accelerator and go. There's no too much defense, there's no too much comfortable zone, because the time is there, the pressure is there. So but in terms of Jiu-Jitsu, you learn how to potentialize yourself. So sometimes you have no endurance and you're still able to fight Jiu-Jitsu by defending yourself and surviving. So sometimes survive is the great victory you could expect if you're dealing with a 250-pound guy who's crazy to kill you and you survive for an hour until the police come. That's great. So victory is not exactly the purpose of Jiu-Jitsu. Undefeated, be invincible, that's what we can provide. Is give you elements for you to feel strong in order to make good decisions emotionally, physically, so you can last longer, you can think better, you can make adjustments. So definitely change your life in terms of how you put yourself to make evaluations, you know, because in the practice you become sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes unable to continue, so you have to quit. So you become very challenge your mind to the limits of your resistance, your emotional control, and by playing on those levels you become more resilient, you become more, and that's your transfer for life. In traffic, just argue with your girlfriend, with your boss, whatever it is, you're gonna bring those senses alive and you're gonna be able to breathe better, to handle pressure, to deal. So that transforms people's lives, and you know, for sure. So I feel like being in that, path of teaching Jiu-Jitsu is amazing as competing and winning. So it's a double standard for any of the Gracie family who achieve that level of high level competition and also teaching skills, But even for those who already teach, they're already making a great service to the community, and it's priceless, Very humbling experience, because it's like the ocean. If you start to be familiar with the ocean, sometimes you have to bow to them, and on the mat, same thing. You have to sometimes graciously be defeated and know how to understand that, and looking for a better angle and see things and eventually improve. And that's life, and we represent life very well on the mat in terms of the pressure, because there's no protection, there's no cover-ups, there's no hard gold watches or security. You're there with the white gi, your belt. You have to prove yourself, and sometimes you show how uncomfortable, how anxiety, how much, and then you start to dealing with that, and eventually you much better. You position yourself much better in those uncomfortable situations. And that's almost automatically translate to life.
Hello everyone, it's Stuart Cooper here. I'm just going to take a moment to talk about Elemental Labs LMNT drink. Now this electrolyte drink is far superior to the other sports drinks you're most likely to buy in the supermarket. Most of those other drinks are loaded with sugars, artificial sweeteners, and they don't actually contain a lot of sodium, potassium, and they usually have 0 magnesium. But LMNT has got over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium, and it's got 0 sugar. Instead of artificial sweeteners, they use stevia, which is something that I really like. Also, it comes in small sachets, so it's really easy to put in your bag and carry around with you if you travel a lot. I think it's a great way to kickstart your day, power through your workouts and replace all those salts that your body loses from the hard training. So right now, for a limited time, you can go to drinklmnt.com and claim a free sample pack. You only have to cover the cost of the shipping, that's it. So this offer is only available through the link below in the YouTube description, so make sure you check it out.